Hey guys, okay, so this is gonna be the first lab that you actually do for me, and what you need to do for this is I want you to watch these notes. This is the first one we're gonna do, and you'll take these notes. So when you take a look at it, you'll see that the first thing we're doing is we're just gonna do something simple like measuring and using SI units. And some of the materials you're gonna use here is a balance, a beaker, which is 50 mil. You guys know what that is. Some clay. Masses, which are these little silver things I'll show you later, or brass things. Materials to create mass set. We'll use clay for that again. And then water. Now, with those materials, you will also see that it gives you the background. This is something you'll want to know why we're using what we're doing and why we're doing it. The strategies you'll use, in this case, you will create a set of masses. That's all we're doing is making masses. And you will use water displacement method to determine the volume of the masses. So we'll be looking for mostly mass and volume in this case. Simple lab, just something to get our feet wet and get back into school. Now, with the procedure is right here. You'll read through that. Let me give you a few more details on that.
Okay guys, so in this lab what I want you to do is I actually want you to determine and work on some measuring units in SI. But in this case what you're going to do is if you look at the lab it asks you to use a balance measuring exactly 10 grams of clay. And what I'm going to do is you're going to have some clay, and the normal balance that we use looks something like this. Is an electronic balance, and I just have to turn it on, let it zero out and measure it, and it'll give me the mass. So it's like 12.9 right there. Okay? But in this case, we're not going to use electronic ones. For this lab, I want you to go ahead and use a true balance. And this is what this is. Okay? Now, these are very old, and we're fortunate enough to have some of these here at school. So you're going to use that. I'm going to take the clay, put it up, and there's two ways to use this. I can move over the little weight here to 10, and this is 10 grams, of course, and it's going to measure it out to roughly 10, a little bit less, a little bit more. Okay, that's one way. The other way you can do that is to take these little brass weights and you pull out the one that says 10, which obviously means 10 grams, put it on there, and it should start to balance it out. Don't forget to move your weight over on the scale though. Okay, 0. You can see it's just a little heavy. It comes out to, what do we say, 12.9 on the other on the electric. That's about center. So when it's at dead center, the needle hits the middle, it's measured. So you can see roughly 12.9. So I've got my 10 here. I add these two together. It was 2.9. So it comes out to about 12.9 when I add them up. So you'll see that our balance itself is pretty even with the electronic balance. But you'll be only using these in this case. Okay, once you've done that, you'll have to determine the volume. In order to find volume of your clay, just take a real graduated cylinder, fill it with water. In this case I have 80 mils. I take my clay, if I put it in, I just have to read the displacement. In this case it displaced, the water moved up 2 mils, so I would just write that down as my volume being 2 mils. So now you're able to determine the mass of your clay and your volume. Alright, there's some other things you're going to do in this lab, but those are the two that I was worried about you being able to do without seeing it. Alright, good luck.